Well, hello everyone and welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. I would like to thank you for joining me today. Today is day 15 of Missouri Star Quilt Company's Jenny's Countdown to Christmas. And today what we got in our bag was a patchwork bag. We received the bag pattern, our light fusible fleece interfacing, and we will pair that with our it's Wandering Ways by Stephanie Organis, I think. For Andover Fabrics, we will take some of our charm squares, and the pattern calls for an additional ½ yard of accent fabric. Now, I am going to show you here, you have two bags that you can choose from. You see the two there? One has sashing, one does not. I'm choosing the one that does have the sashing. So that bag is going to have, that's called Style 2. It's a 9 by 10 by 4. And the supplies is the package of 5-inch print squares, ½ yard of accent fabric, which that includes your lining and sashing. Then you have the two 14-inch pieces of fusible fleece, one set of wooden handles, which came with our bag, and a set of magnetic snaps, which is also in here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to bring you guys around and we are going to start working on this bag and see how far we can get today. I now have all of the fabrics trimmed down to the size. I have my interfacing trimmed down. I have my charm squares trimmed down. And I have these that I set aside. And I have my accent fabric trimmed down. So I will turn you guys down over onto my sewing machine so you can watch and see what I do here. So in just one moment you'll see the machine. I now have you down on my sewing machine here. So we are going to just get ahead, and it says for the window shopping, which is this bag right here. Get you in the light here because this darkens everything. This is the window shopping bag. This is the one that I will be completing. So for the window shopping bag, we are to gather the 8 charm squares. So I have 8 charm squares here, and the 6 larger rectangles, and the 4 smaller rectangles. From our accent fabric, we're going to gather charm length rectangles, the long sashing, and the short sashing. Okay, and our instructions says make the bottom rows by sewing in order. So I'm going to bring everything down off of my table here. We are going to sew 1 charm square, 1 accent fabric. I'm going to go ahead and put these two together and sew them. Now I will let you know. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting this at 1/4 inch. Make sure I'm on that 1/4 inch line. And then the next thing we do is sew a larger rectangle. On here. Might be easier if I press this. Once again, also the pressing instructions are in the back. So this is our larger rectangle. Then we do another charm length. Accent strip. After this piece, we will do another square. And we will make 4 of these. This is a finished row. So now I will do 4 more of these. And I will speed you guys up through it so you don't have to watch it, but you will see what I am doing. We have our 4 strips done here. So these are the panels. So what we do now is we sew together the following rectangles to make the top row. We take a small rectangle. Oh, we've got 2 of these, 2 of each. And then we have our small accent rectangle. Okay, so I am going to go in and start with this. So we take a small rectangle, small accent rectangle, and then we take the large rectangle. So now how I do this is I line the bottoms of these up. Then we take another small accent rectangle and line it at the bottom as well. And then we do our other piece. Okay, and I will make 2 of these. I now have my 2 top rows completed. Our next step is to assemble all of the rows together with our long strips. So now what we'll be doing is taking our sashing and adding 2 more rows. We'll do the top row, a sash, a row, then another sash, then another row. So let's get on to this one here. Now our next step is we will add another row to this. Completed my panels. I have fused on the interfacing and pinned the lining on. After I fuse the interfacing, the instructions does say to quilt as you desire. I just stitched across the sashing. That's all I did, was just stitch across the sashing. But I've completed both of them. Our next step does state to trim away these areas here, like, see if you can see that there, where I have the square trimmed out, and up here at the top I need to trim away all of this. Now we have both panels. So our next step is going to be joining the 2 panels. It tells us to align the raw edges of the shell panels right side facing. So that is going to be this direction. Pin or clip in place using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Sew down both sides and across the bottom through all layers. Turn back inside out. Okay, so it's the sides and the bottom. Okay, once we have these completed, we are to take the lining off. We should pin or clip these together. I think I am going to clip just because that's just easier for me. Looking to see how this wants me to sew this. Once again, align the raw edges of the shell panels right sides facing, pin or clip in place using a half inch seam allowance. Sew down both sides and across the bottom. Okay, so let me get in here, find my half inch seam allowance. Okay, so here we are at our half inch seam allowance, making sure I'm at the correct mark at the top of my machine as I am at the bottom of my machine. And this is going to go through all layers. So let's see here, we have our linings. They're going to be right side facing. And we know we're doing side seams at a half inch. Okay, now we are to leave the two linings face side together. This is to sew a corner, flatten two adjacent corner seams so they are on top of each other. Okay, so to stitch the corner, it is saying line up the seams, center the seams and flatten so the corner seam is a straight line. Now see, the picture is showing it like there is still a lot of fabric there, but it's not. And I will let y'all know I've never had much luck with making these corner seams like this. Okay, so now we have our corner seams completed. It says add the snaps. Gather the snaps. Place the washer provided with the snaps kit on the fusible fleece side of the shell flap. So here is our snap kit, and it's showing that it's 1 inch down and 2 inches across. I'm trying to see which one it is that I'm getting. Gather the snaps, place the washer. I'm guessing this is a washer. Not sure. With the snap kit on the fusible fleece side, just centering it there. Of the shell, about 2 inches from the corner and 1 inch down from the top. So let me come about 1 inch down. It says mark the prong line. I'm going to poke it through the holes. They may not be big enough. I may have to make them bigger. Place the washer over the prongs. So there's your washer. It is over the prongs. And press the prong flat outward to secure. So we do it outward. So I have the prongs pressed outward to secure. Use a marking tool to make a small mark where the other half of the snap will need to be attached to the back handle cover flap. Cut a small hole on the mark. What I'll do is I'll take my marking pen. I'm going to lay this down so maybe you can see. What I'm actually going to do is kind of let's go in and snap them. So we know right here is, I'm just snapping them. I know right there. Both. To finish the bag, slide the bag inside the lining. Okay, so now we are sliding the bag into the lining. This is with right sides facing. Okay, so I need to turn this the correct way. I'm hoping I'm doing this right. Because it says slide it into the back, the lining with right sides facing. Stitch around the top using a 1/4 inch seam and press the seams open. Snip off the corners to prevent bulk. So we are doing, I'm matching my seams right here. I am going to clip these together. We may be doing some kind of magician stuff here. I don't know. Putting those seams together, and I will be clipping those together as well. Okay, so now I have to sew around the complete top with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I don't even know where to start, but I guess right here is as good as any place to start. And we're doing this at a 1/4 inch seam. And here we have our main part of our purse inside. We have our lining here. We've stitched around the outer edge. And now we are to pull the purse through the bottom. So I'm just going to pull it a little bit at a time. Once we get our lining up, let me see how it wants us to stitch that. This is close the lining opening with a straight stitch on your machine or a slip stitch by hand. I'm just going to do a straight stitch on my machine. So I have the lining completed. So now I am to put the lining in the purse. Let me see if I can get that. And I've got to pull my handles out here. Now I did trim these corners so they were not real bulky. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is get the fabric to lay better. The instructions do tell me to top stitch 1/8 of an inch from the top of the bag. So we now have our stitching done across the top of the bag. Yeah, I'm not real good at this, but it's still a lovely little bag. Okay, so our next thing is to put our handles on, I believe. So we gather our wooden handles, align the straight portion of one handle with the bag's inside edge under the flap. So here's the bag's inside edge under the flap. Pin and slip stitch in place. Okay, so I have my needle and thread ready to start slip stitching. You probably noticed the light's a lot better. I cut the light on my sewing machine off. So what I've done is I've lined the wooden handle, and I can't see real well now. I've lined the wooden handle with the edge, and now what we're going to do is just do a slip stitch. Mine is kind of a whip stitch, what I'm going to do. What I'm doing is I'm just catching the lining and the fabric there for the bag. Now you do need to think about this. You need a double layer of thread because this handle, you've got a magnetic thing here. So you're going to be opening this. You need to make sure this is not going to come apart. I need a thimble, but I don't know where my thimble is right now either. So I've been doing a little clearing out of my sewing room and rearranging of my sewing room. So I'm not real sure where everything is at right at the moment. I used to do a lot of crafts, and so I have a lot of stuff for sublimation, for vinyl, and I don't do that as much anymore. I haven't even made my Christmas ornaments this year, and I normally make a Christmas ornament for all the new babies, and I'm going to have two, and I don't even have a Christmas ornament for either one of them made. I did purchase some ornaments to personalize, but I do always like, I want to do one, and if I do, I'll bring you guys along. It may be after Christmas before I get to it, but it could be before Christmas. But currently on top of my sublimation printer, I just have a little, I did have an Epson sublimation printer, one of the big ones, and I got rid of it and just got a smaller printer because I did not need, the big one actually fit on this whole table. That's why I have a lovely sewing table now in the middle of my bed, not my bedroom. This is not my bedroom. This is a spare bedroom in my house. But, so I just got me a small one because I like to do ornaments and mugs and things like that. So, hopefully I will be able to get to it and get it cleaned out. But right now on top of the printer is all of my blocks for my block of the months that I'm doing, and all my blocks in a scrapbook holder. You know, the big, I think they're like 15 inches by 15 inches or something like that. But I put all my blocks in those just to keep them organized and together. Okay, guys. This is our little tote. Look at that. Okay, and yeah, it looks like you'll have to, very nice, very nice. I like this. This is Missouri Star Quilt Company's Day 15 patchwork bag. This is lovely. I like this, but I may give it to my daughter that's having a baby because she just told me tonight at dinner that she did not have anything to put her toiletries in to keep at the house right now because she's afraid she's about to go into labor any day. And this would be perfect for her. I love this though. I think it's beautiful. So guys, if you're still here at this point of the video, give me a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. I have plenty more crafting things coming up soon. I'm going to be doing some cooking videos here pretty soon. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this project. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.